I stepped away from my marriage the moment I discovered she was 8 weeks pregnant by the person she had been seeing secretly, and at that point, over 3 long years had passed since I last spoke a single word to my ex-wife. She contacted me just last week, asking if we could have a talk, and we ended up having a phone conversation that lasted for about an hour. That single call was what finally brought this unhappy and sorrowful relationship to its definitive conclusion. This is the account of what happened. I came across this forum only a few weeks ago, and I have been reading with intense interest. It brought me genuine sadness to see so many posts filled with heartache, but I also found a bittersweet solace in knowing I wasn't isolated in my experience. I never posted anything before, because I felt I had little comfort or direction to give. I mean, how could I advise anyone when my own marriage fell apart so disastrously? Yet, after my talk with my ex last week, it dawned on me that all our stories follow an eerily similar pattern. It's almost like there's a checklist of events and excuses that get marked off one by one, and we've all had our boxes ticked. That realization is what pushed me to share more fully. We originally met in Tennessee. I was 22 years old, and she was 27, in the final year of her nursing program while I was finishing my military service. We both worked part-time doing pizza deliveries at a small local joint to earn some extra cash. Our conversations flowed easily, we were friendly, and after a particularly unforgettable party one evening, our dynamic shifted into something far more intimate. Although it was mostly her who pursued me, I was not only flattered but also thrilled to reciprocate her interest. By the time my active duty was up, I was completely smitten, so I took her out for a beautiful meal and proposed, feeling nothing but profound love and excitement. Our first year as a married couple was wonderful. Her family accepted me wholeheartedly, and my own family absolutely adored her. We were nearly inseparable, doing all kinds of daily routines together. Yet, early in our second year, subtle changes started creeping in. I was holding a full-time job by day and working toward a civil engineering degree at night. Despite my efforts to create meaningful moments in the fewer hours we had together, there was no escaping the fact that our time was more limited. I sensed her drifting away, losing interest in me, and that growing distance terrified me. I dropped out of school altogether, convincing myself that our marriage was paramount and that I could always resume my education later on. In spite of that decision, there was no real improvement. A revelation struck me. She was like a child who loses enthusiasm for one toy and moves on to the next, constantly seeking something novel. I went to great lengths to keep her engaged, planning romantic vacations, surprising her with gifts, trying different ways of nurturing that bond, but it felt like trying to scoop water out of a sinking boat, especially when she barely showed any intention to help salvage us. It is incredibly draining to maintain a relationship when you are the only one